All right. Hi, everyone. Sailor Moon here, Serena, and Tuxedo Mask Darien here, doing another YouTube live stream. And we just fought in the mood to do it today. And we do these YouTube live streams when we get in the mood, which isn't every day, you know. So let's get started about some of the things we want to talk about here. Well, the first thing we want to talk about is that Toei has going to make Sailor Moon Sailor Stars, the last following of Sailor Moon. The Hearst, or whatever you want to call it, Crystal, it's a French borrowed word. English word is Hearst. Internal is a French borrowed word. Forever is the English word. The follow up to it, which is going to happen in 2023 YL on Netflix. I guess going to be 2 films like they did with the last following. And need to talk about that. You know, now a lot of folks are going to wonder, is that going to be it for the shows after that? I would think so, because as you all know, my show only ran for 5 followings. If you watch the Toei or the Viz stuff, only 4 followings if you look at the Deacon and Cloverway stuff. And the books only run from 9 between 92 Wild to 9 between 97 Wild, the same time that the show went. So your guess is as good as mine. And some folks might ask and say, why is it that there isn't anyone? Why is it that no one out there why is it that my show never had any new followings? Like, standalones. Followings that are not taken from the book. They're not taken from the drawing film. They're not taken from the live show. They're not taken from the song shows or anything like that. You would think that. But I guess Naiko Takaguchi, if I'm saying her name right, which I'm probably going to say it wrong, and Toei, they just never ever think they should do any follow-ups. So the closer you get to this is, so yeah. So once again on 2023 YL on Netflix, I don't know when, this says a year, we're going to have a follow-up to either Hearst or Forever, which one it might be, for Sailor Moon Sailor Stars. And this one is going to be probably more closer Sailor Moon to the books. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's going to be handled as 2 films into one, I guess, like you did with the last following, though. And you want to know what's irking us? Is that we start this YouTube live stream. We thought we had 2 folks watching, and then they're gone. Oh well, it is what it is. Just one of those hang-ups of YouTube live stream. It was the same hang-up with the Google Hangout back in the day. You get folks coming, going. It is what it is. Sorry for clearing my throat. Long live Sailor Moon. Well, thank you for saying that. Forgive us. When you do a YouTube live stream, the YouTubes makes your shooter look like it's lopsided when it's not. So thank you for saying that. So anyway, it's coming up to May. It's going to be May's coming up on June. It's coming up soon this Sunday, and soon that's going to make 8 years of Sailor Moon's YouTube Fairway, the Sailor Moon for Life being on YouTube. So 8 years ago. So somewhere in May 8 between, I guess, 18 or 8 between, it's going to make 8 years. We'll read out what we got to say. What's up? Well, I'll let you know what's up. Sailor Moon Sailor Stars is going to get its Hearst, or it's going to get its forever handling. It's going to be on Netflix in 2022 YL. So yeah, that's what's up. That's all. That's the big news coming out of Sailor Moon followership these days. And I guess that's how Toei's going to handle the 30th year day of Sailor Moon. But by the time 2023 YL rolls around, it will be the 21st year day of Sailor Moon by that time. But so yeah. So except for clear my throat, you know. This is the thing about YouTube live streams, and never go the way you want them to go. And uploads never go the way you want them to go either. So, except for clear my throat here. Many times clear my throat. So, sometime tomorrow, Omega Light's supposed to come and work on our lighting. They were supposed to have done it on this would have happened on April the 7th, but it didn't happen because of rain. It was then going to happen again many times from then, but the other day was rain, so tomorrow is the only other day that they can do it. And once that gets healed up, that should be the last time we got to talk about that. Yeah. So, what do you folks think about Sailor Moon having other followings? You know, picking up where Sailor Stars left off at. But I'm not saying this would be like a live drawing, show or whatever you want to call it, drawing film, where it would be a standalone. It would not have wouldn't be offshooting from the books or the live shows or the drawing films or the song shows and anything like that. I know that that's probably not going to happen because Toei and Naoko Takiguchi thought that Sailor Moon should have 5 followings, and that was it. But I always thought that, the Power Rangers or the Might Keepers, they always got like mini followings, between Siobhan and Disney and Siobhan and Hasbro. So we thought we should get our followings, but it never going to happen, And that would be either by Toei themselves or Sailor Moon says either someone getting the deal to work with it. And I know that anytime you get a deal to work with someone's stuff, it's always treated as standalone and it's never welcomed as the true thing. Or, here's another thing, Sailor Moon says. Here's another thing. How about they get that? How about, Toon Maker Sailor Moon or whatever? How about we get to see that first one? Yeah, I know there was a following that was made back in between 94 and between 95 YL that was being made and never saw the light of day. That one should be freed out, But we all know that one is like one of the ones that be freed out. Yeah. In case you're not wondering, Sailor Moon, what we're talking about is back and between 94 while Toei wanted to get Sailor Moon to the English-speaking world. Sailor Moon had already done very well for herself in many lands. So Toei first had to deal with the folks at Newborn Sea Glee or Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment, the ones that worked with Siobhan and Disney on the Power Rangers and the Might Keepers, to get a deal to do Sailor Moon. But the only downside to this one is it was half live work and half drawing work, and it was worth way too much for them or Toon Makers or Toei. So Toei ended up giving the deal over to Deke to do the voice work, the spoken work, whatever you want to call it. But they did make one following, Tuxedo Mask. One following. Which if you look hard enough, you can seek and stuff. But that one following out there has never been shown. Yeah. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, though. Yeah. We started out. So we have like, let's read everything we got. Long live Sailor Moon. What's up? That's a very needed thought. Yeah, it is a very needed thought. But one that will probably only be a thought since it will never ever become true. You know, Toei will probably say, well, Sailor Moon only ran from 5 followings because Nako Takaguchi only had so many books she wrote. We can't make a standalone that has nothing to do with the books or the drawing show or the film or the drawing show or the live show or the song shows or anything like that. I mean, they could if they wanted to, you know. And yes, I do get it. Sailor Moon's half owned between Nayo Takaguchi and Toei, but they could probably work out some deal to do it. But I know they're going to probably say, oh, well, we're doing Sailor Stars, we're ending the whole Hearst and the whole forever thing. You should be happy with that. And then what are they going to do? This is a 30-year day. That's going to be next year for the 31st year day. And then after that, what do they do? I don't know. Well, I do think we do know one thing I need to do. There also, need to get the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon stuff freed out on disc 2. And then that would be good, but that's probably never going to happen, you know? So, anyway, I just wish that we had more. Oh, I get it. I get it. See, I get it. The closest thing you're going to get to that would be the song shows. And they're kind of the only offshoot of Sailor Moon that's still ongoing to this day. So I get that. Well, PGSM, the live Farseer show. If anyone's still watching, the one that ran from 2003 YL to 2004 YL, that one should get a follow up. I think PGSM should get a follow up. I mean, that would be cool to see how the live Farseer take on R, whatever R stood for. No one knows. I don't know Tuxedo Mask. Some folks say it stands for return. Some say it stands for romance. Whatever. They don't know what it stands for. And they don't know what French borrowed word it stands for. They don't know it means come back or love. I don't know. They don't know. And there are some folks, there are some folks out there, and this is going to get they're going to get a little earnest here. There are some folks out in the Sailor Moon followership who think that we don't know as much as others. And that's true, we don't. But there are some out there who think that we don't know anything about it. And think that, oh, well, you don't know as much about it as I do. And that might be true. I'm not saying I know every single thing about it. I'm a latecomer. Only been a follower of Sailor Moon since 2008 YL, when most of these folks have been followers of Sailor Moon their whole life. But that doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. All right? And the thing on the Sailor Moon followership is there's always going to be those out there who, they're big into one thing. Some of them, well, they know everything about the drawing film, but they might not know everything about the books. Or they know everything about the books, but they don't know everything about, the songs film, the song shows. Or there might be those, but they know nothing about the Farseer show that ran from one following. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone else is watching or not. We had 3 followers. Now they're gone now. Who cares if they're still watching or not? We have no runner lead over it. So, long live Sailor Moon. Yes, you just said that before. No. Well, thank you for saying that. You know, So, as we know, you may have saw one film we made earlier this week talking about where's Sailor Saturn. Well, we don't have her doll. We don't have her Irwin doll or her Bandai doll. We don't. She's like one of the hardest ones to get. And you go on Amazon or Strong Woman thinking you're going to get her. Wow, sold out. You go on eBay, yeah, but all the worths are high are worth a lot. You know, it's an ongoing thing. Got to get Sailor Saturn, and we also got to get Diamond and Emerald. It's an ongoing thing. And I know there's Sailor Moon followers out there. They got every Sailor Moon doll ever made, from Bandai, from Irwin, the old stuff, the new stuff. I know they usually are called gatherers, but they don't give the same love that we get here, though. Yeah, that's right, Sailor Moon. I mean, they don't give the dolls the same kind of love. They just either leave them in the box or they put them on some shelf, like there. But that's all they do. Well, they might give their thoughts on it, but that's about it. Playing with them, forget about it. They're not into that. They like to talk about the show and the live drawing and the live drawings and the Farseer show or the song films or the books. They behave as if they're if they're more earnest of the Sailor Moon followers out there or something, but it's not true. And then there's always going to be the Costa players or the self players, the ones that clothe themselves as the self that they're going as, and it's like they don't get on look. It's like they're like if there's a ranking in the Sailor Moon followership, then the gatherers would be on the top. The ones who give their thoughts would be on the top, the gatherers. Then underneath them would be the show players or the dressing or the clove players. And then underneath, if there isn't an underneath, it'd be folks like Dwayne here, which there's only like, I don't know, very few folks that do this, at least do it with Sailor Moon. I know there's someone else out there that does it besides us, but she does all kinds of other drawing films too. So, yeah, you're right. Do we think we get on look from the Sailor Moon followership? I would say yes, and I would say no. Some folks on a Sailor Moon followership give us some on look, and some don't. You know, it's almost if there's a ranking, and this is almost like black sheep or something. Like, oh well, you're not a gatherer, and you don't, and you're not a self player. You're not a clove player. You don't clove yourself as a self and go to all these shows and stuff and show play or something as the self you're clothed as. It's like, well, no one's going, and then it's like, well, you just do whatever, you're playing with dolls, like almost like that's like the lowest offshoot of the Sailor Moon followership you get. And I know you don't really get a lot from that, but at the end of the day, I think I get on look, and even if I don't get on look from them, oh well, you know. Yeah. So getting back to the whole thing about Sailor Saturn, it's like there'll be folks that always ask us about, oh, why you don't got Saturn, why you don't got Emerald, you don't got Diamond or the other ones that were made by Bandai and Irwin between 95 until 2001 YL. Well, because first off, got in the show late, and the only ones we could get is what we got on Amazon, what we got from eBay. And yeah, and Saturn's just one of those hard ones to get. But one day we're gonna get her. You know. You're right, Sailor Moon. And here's another little thing we gotta talk about here. So in the Sailor Moon followership, there's this big deal about Sailor Earth. Everyone's got their Sailor Earth, right? Sailor Moon. Everyone's got their Sailor Earth, and their Sailor Earth. They're all the same. You know. But our Sailor Earth Ernest P. Worrell is unlike them because he's Ernest P. Worrell. And everyone, wants to say their Sailor Earth, the true Sailor Earth, or if they believe that their Sailor Earth is somehow, the true one. Well, there is no true Sailor Earth, but no one's ever going to say that Sailor Earth doesn't get on with. At least no, because Ernest as Sailor Earth, he doesn't seem to get any on look, which is sad. It's like this. Oh, well, it's like, oh, well, you didn't follow Naiko Takaguchi's oversight about only girls can be fighters or whatever. Hey, I don't really care about that oversight. And Toei themselves kind of broke it themselves when you had the Sailor Starlights, Sailor Star Maker, Sailor Star Healer, and Sailor Star Fighter. Let's not forget about that. So there's a big thing about that. And hey, Robot Chicken or Told Chicken made fun of that a long time ago too. Yeah, they did. They did make fun of it. So even they kind of brought it up. Yes. And I do think at the end of the day, Tuxedo Mask, I think that Ernest, a Sailor Earth, or Ernest P. Worrell doesn't get the onlook he should get for being Sailor Earth. Why? Because he's a man. And some folks out there have this belief that, oh, because you didn't follow the rule. Well, who really cares about that oversight? I'm not Toei. I don't have to follow the oversight. I'm not doing a drawing film or a live show or a song film or where I gotta follow the oversight. And it's almost if, Mikey doesn't get on because they're like, oh, well, isn't Tuxedo Mask Darien? Isn't he supposed to be King Endymion or King Darien or Kingling Darien of the Earth? Yeah, I was. He is. But he's not the owner of it. But he's one. He watches over the Earth in the behalf of the owner of it, which would be Sailor Earth, which overlords over the earth in the behalf of God and Jesus. So you know how that goes. Like, yeah. So it's kind of like, but here's a little thing. Now you're like, why did it take Sailor Earth, Ernest P. Worrell, so long to awaken? I don't know why it took Sailor Earth so long to awaken. He didn't awaken until 2009 YL. And everyone likes to talk about how, Amara, Sarah Uranus and Michelle, Sarah Neptune and Tissa, Sailor Pluto, or the more grown up ones. Well, Ernest is a grown up one too. Well, let's not forget about Snoop Dogg as Sailor Sun. Yeah, Calvin Cosler, Snoop Dogg, he became Sailor Sun. And even though the sun is not a world, the sun is a star, he tends to be more with the outers than he does with the inners. And don't get me started with that one. So, and another thing that always makes me mad, well, is that the Deacon Cloverway offshoot of Sailor Moon that never gets on look in the Sailor Moon followership. It never does. Everyone bitches, oh, how bad it is. Oh, how bad. They bitch about how bad what Deke did here and what Cloverway did there. And hold on, we gotta do something with our reckoner, so we'll be right back. And they never give any on look. They talk about it as if it was the worstest, as if the cleaning, the shifting of names and stead names and strike names, and they act as if it was a sin on live drawings. Acted as if it shouldn't have been done. Behave as if it was the only live drawing show to ever be handled in that way. But what a lot of these folks forget is that if it wasn't for the Deacon and Cloverway show and for them watching it, then they wouldn't have even wanted to know what Sailor Moon was, and so they wouldn't have even been looking it up to say, oh, that's what Sailor Moon is. If it wasn't for that, there would be no need for the Viz stuff. because there wouldn't be anyone wanting to see Sailor Moon. And we've got to keep this in mind. A lot of folks that, hate Sailor Moon's hate the Sailor Moon Deacon Cloverway work were folks that didn't have the Reckoner in 9 between 95 YL. Folks that the only way they were going to the only way they could know what Sailor Moon was either going to the book house to go on a Reckoner or go to their Learn on a Reckoner. And that was about it. And then years later, they probably got the Reckoner at their own house. We got ours first Reckoner in 9 between 99 YL. And then they probably went and looked it up and oh, so that's what the Deacon Cloverway stuff was off of. And they probably watched some stuff there. And then that's when they got their dislike for it, their hatred of it. I don't know. It's like they all talk about how great the Viz one is. This is the one we should have gotten back in the day. Well, too bad you didn't get that one back in the day. I know you're happy you got it now, but back then it is what it is. And they like to behave as if names being shifted and strike names being shifted and stead names being shifted with some bad thing, and they couldn't understand why the Dawnlander borrowed names were being shifted out for Latin and French and Greek and I don't know, Hebrew and Farsi borrowed names that English folks would probably borrowed names that English folks speaking English would probably more understand, And then they would talk about how the unstraight were handled badly. Well, first off, the unstraight in Sailor Moon were not handled badly. What happened is that back in the day, a lot of folks thought that it was wrong for anyone to be unstraight. They played. So if you made a film or a Farsi show or whatever, or a play, and you were playing someone who was unstraight, then they saw that as wrong. And if you did that on a kid's show, they thought that was wrong. So Deke didn't want to get in that bind. So Deke had to make Zoisite a woman. And I know a lot of folks are going to say, well, what about Sailor and Sailor Neptune? Well, they made them near kin. And I know what you're going to say, oh, well, that was a dumb thing. Well, keep in mind, it was either that, and Cloverway didn't want to be in the same bind that Deke was, so Sarah Uranus and Sarah Neptune became near kin, which a lot of folks knew they weren't, but it is what it is. And they go about Fisheye. Well, here's a little thing about Fisheye. She's a woman, and the Viz offshoot and the Cloverway offshoot. Some folks say, oh, no, she's not. Well, I watched the Cloverway offshoot and the Viz offshoot. And from looking at both of them, she's a woman. All right? Sorry, she is. And then by the time Sailor Star comes along, how were they going to really handle men who shapeshift into women when they become sailor fighters? And that would have been worse. That would have been a harder way for them to deal with it. So that's why Sailor Star never got picked up by Cloverway or to work with. That's why it had to yield for years later for Viz to work with it. And speaking of that, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get Sailor Stars, the Sailor Moon Forever offshoot of Sailor Stars, next year on Netflix, 2023 YL. Probably 2 slights. How's our day going? Our day's going well. Thank you for asking. Our day's going very well. So thank you for asking that. And I know there's some folks out there who will say, well, I know this YouTube live stream might not have been one of the most glee ones out there, and we didn't get all the followers or the watchers we thought we would get. But it is what it is, So anyway, I don't know what likeness YouTube's gonna pick after we're done with this YouTube live stream. So sorry about clearing my throat there again. But anyway, and here's just another thing that we gotta talk about. So they already come up with names. There are some folks that hate it that my name's Serena and they can't stand that. Well, it is too bad. Who is this Usagi? I don't know. Usagi is my nickname. It's not my given name, it's my nickname. Yeah, and it's like some folks are mad that my name's Darien. It's like who's this Monaru? I don't know. Monaru might be my whatever, my middle name or my nickname. Yeah. Usagi might be my middle name. I'll give you that. I'll meet you halfway and say that Usagi's my middle name, but it's not my first name. It's not my given name. My given name is Serena. Same way here. I'll meet you halfway. Monaru's my middle name, not my first name or given name. My first name or given name is Darien, which is a Farsi borrowed name. But that's still going to make the haters bitch, I know. You know, the haters who hate the Deke and the Cloverway Sailor Moon, the ones who love the Viz stuff. And over the years, there have been a lot of folks coming up with a lot of forgivenesses for why they hate the Deke and the Cloverway so much. And this one is still to stay as laughable. It's folks that are too lazy to learn another speech. Yeah, someone told me that a long time ago. Oh, it's just folks that are too lazy to learn another speech. So, make everyone who doesn't only knows one speech make them feel bad. Oh, it's almost like Toei had to have Deke and Cloverway put in English because we were lazy and we couldn't speak Dawnlandish. Forgive us, you know. And the one who wrote that was the English speaker. So I guess you were too lazy to learn another speech, you know, or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, that one was just whatever. Like, of all the forgivenesses to hate something, and that was the forgiveness. Oh, well, you folks are just too lazy to learn another speech. So that's right. We had to put it in, it had to be put in English. Yeah, it was almost if that was, yeah, whatever. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. Ernest, you. Yeah, I know. So at the end of the day, everyone's doing well. You know, we're doing all right. We got some folks watching our film. There was only about 3 folks. 3 thumbs up. I know we went through this. We thought we were going to get a lot more folks watching our film, but I guess it is what it is, you know. And someone out there might say, oh, well, Sailor Moon, you didn't tell folks you're doing a YouTube live stream. You didn't set a time. Yeah, because we don't know. We don't know when we get in the mood to do a YouTube live stream or not. You know, we didn't know we were going to be in the mood to do it or not. So that's why we don't set a time, because we don't know when the mood strikes us. And today the mood struck us, and it is what it is. You know? So, yeah, we have about 2 followers, about 3, Sailor Moon says. The third one keeps coming and going. You know? It is what it is, you know? So, anyway, we just want to say that we're doing very well. And May, we're doing very well. And that May is going to be the 8th year day that Sailor Moon for Life got started. May 8th between 2022 YL will make it 8 years that Sailor Moon for Life got started on YouTube. So I wrote down here, since Bethany Moore, I guess, what was it, Murphy died, she can't be casted as Sailor Moon voice anymore, and King of the Hill. Hi, I heard about Sailor Moon from a friend. Well, that I didn't know that. I did not know that. Are we talking about saying that? I don't know. Are we talking about like someone who was going to take over for whoever was doing it now, or were you talking about? Are you talking about like old stuff or new stuff? I don't know. Well, I didn't know she died. I don't even know who Bethany Murphy is and who she spoke when she was on King of the Hill. But I don't know. It said the channel. What fairway are we talking about? Our YouTube fairway? Well, that would be Sailor Moon for Life. That'd be our YouTube fairway if you're talking about that fairway. If you're talking about other fairways, there are many other Sailor Moon fairways out there on YouTube. So if you were talking about a fairway, I can name one of them. You're talking about ours. So who was this friend who told you about Sailor Moon? You know, yeah. So you said a friend told you about Sailor Moon, and you said it was some fairway, I guess. But I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy that someone told you about Sailor Moon, about our show. That's good to know, whoever he or she was, and that's how you got into it. And then we get hearing about some show player or word player, whatever show player, who worked on King of the Hill. I guess Bethany Murphy dying and saying, well, she couldn't be casted as Sailor Moon in some film or whatever. I don't know. Are you saying that back when Viz did Sailor Moon, Crystal or Hearst, and they were redoing all the other Sailor Moon stuff, that's who they wanted to go with instead of going with this Stephanie, whoever her name is? All right. Is that what you meant? Or are you talking about the old Deacon Cloverway work, which at the end of the day, everything's doing well. Everything's doing well. Thanks for asking what's up. Or are you talking about the old Deacon Cloverway work? Because on that one, yeah, Tuxedo Mask. Because on that one, it was Tracy Moore, and then it went to Terry Hanks, and it went to Linda Bellatime. And then for the Viz work, it was Stephanie Wooji, whatever her name is. I never knew that Bethany Murphy was ever going to do anything with Sailor Moon. I don't even know what self that she played or who she spoke when she was on the show, so I don't know. For folks don't know, Bethany Murphy, I guess, spoke for some self on King of the Hill. I don't know. Someone on the live stream says that Bethany Murphy couldn't be casted because she died. I don't know. I don't need to know who she did on King of the Hill, and I don't need to know if that's who she was supposed to do. That she was going to do Sailor Moon in the films and stuff, and the Viz work, and I don't know. I don't know. Forgive me for not knowing that. And it was, who was it? Darius Worf. He was the one. Oh, now I understand. They wanted Bethany Murphy to do Sailor Saturn. Oh, I get it. She was going to voice Ataru, Sailor Saturn, but she died and sometime after that, sadly, and they couldn't get her since she died, so they went with someone else. Oh, now I understand now. Now I understand now I understand. Folks like to ask me, am I still being Sailor Moon? Am I still fighting by moonlight? Am I still winning love by daylight? Yes, I still am. And I've been doing that. If you go by the Viz and Toei work, I've been doing that since 9 between 92 YL. But if you go by the Deke or Cloverway work, I've been doing that since 9 between 95 YL. Well, Sailor Moon, some folks would say that the Sailor Moon Hearst or Sailor Moon Forever stuff is the nowadays take on the old Sailor Moon show. And I'll have a lot of up-to-date things in it too. Yeah, well, if you're going by that offshoot, then that offshoot means only been around since 24 between YL then. We're doing very well. Yeah, now I know now. But it is what it is. Well, it looks like that's going to be all it looks like. That's everyone else that's on here. Oh, yes. I guess that makes sense then. And I guess that makes thought then. I don't know that show. Glory Feed or whatever. I never watched that show. Yeah, that's another thing. Folks come here and they go, oh, well, are you a follower of other live drawing films or drawing shows? And you got to say, no, you're not. But it is what it is. So anyway, you want to take it from here? I got to do something. Yeah. It says, yes, she was going to be taking over for her one who voiced her girl in a Happy Feet. Happy Feet. Happy Feet. I'd never heard of that show before. So your guess good as mine. Hi, everyone. All right. Hi, everyone. Well, it's good to see that you're doing well. It says, Power Rangers Forever Red goes, hi back. Well, you're welcome. So, when we get into this, here's another thing that we need to talk about now. So, there's going to be, and this is mostly has to do with Sailor Moon and the Power Rangers or Mikey, what do you want to call it. So, there are going to be some folks out there, and this isn't a bad thing, but there are going to be some folks out there that will say that one show was offshooted from the other show, but the truth was that both Sailor Moon and the Might Keepers both offshooted from Super Sentai or Overteam, which they both were off. One was offshooted from and one got fostered from. And yes, there were a lot of things between both of the shows that were the same, and a lot of things that were not the same. And some folks got a fought and belief over that. And then there's always going to be folks about, oh, well, if there was a WF, who's the WCW? And if there's a WE, who's the TNAW? I mean, who's the IW? Who's the AEW? I don't know. Some folks like to say, oh, well, the tween age, shifted fighting ground crawlers. They like to say they were the first. Yeah, well, they may have been around the first, but that didn't make everybody else after them be or something. And yes, but then we showed up in between 92, while 1 year before Power Rangers showed up. And some folks seem to think there were a lot of things that are the same between both of the shows, and they're all. Well, I never did watch that film, so I don't know what that film's all about. And some folks, can't. Another thing is some folks, tend to say they can't. A lot of folks out there will think, oh, that one show was knocking off the other. No, I don't think so. I think the whole Fiend of the Week thing is just something that gets done in many other drawing films and live shows like that. And I think when it came to at least the first following of PR and Sailor Moon, I think a lot of those things just happened to be the way they were. They're like, oh, wow, Queen Beryl's doing this shit. Rita Repulsa's doing that. And how is it that Tommy Oliver is helping Kimberly out and how Kimberly Hart out and Catherine Hardman out the same way that Darien and Tuxedo Max would be helping out Serena Sailor Moon? I don't know. They're like, oh, how does Billy Corson and Amy both be blue and be highly wise and stuff? I don't know. I mean, I did make a film talking about a lot of things that were the same between both shows. But at the end of the day, the Mic Keepers and us have a lot of onlook for each other. And it'd be one of those overlaps that will never happen unless you read someone's follower tales of it. And we did make a follower tale of it way back around 2012, around 2011 WoW or something like that. Around 2012 WoW, something like that. But it is what it is. But there are some unlikenesses. One, when I beat a Fiend, that's it. The Fiend's dead. The Fiend doesn't grow, and you don't have to become big or get a tool to fight it. So there's one little big unlikeness between that. Someone said, hello, my friend. How's your day? Doing well. Hello, Sailor Moon Tuxedo Mask. It said, my is good. It says, I'm Sailor Moon too, and I'm here the same birthday as Serena in true life. Yeah, well, that's great to know. My name is Serena. My middle name is Usagi, but my first name is Serena. But I am happy to know that you share the same birthday as me. I don't know, but my daughter, Rini, Chibaluza, whatever you want to call her, has the same birthday as me. I don't know how that happened. Don't know. I don't know how Rini, Sailor Mini Moon, Sailor Small Moon, Sailor Little Moon got the same birthday as Sailor Moon Serena. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. So, if no one has heard by now, Sailor Moon Sailor Moon Forever has one more following. Sailor Moon Sailor Stars coming in 2023 while the Netflix. So somewhere in that year, which will most likely be Sailor Moon's 31st year day instead of the 30th year day. So that will be handled in 2 slices as a film. So when that day comes, we will give our thoughts on it like we do. And someone says you're talking to Power Rangers and other Sailor Moon. Yes. And speaking about this, I talked about this earlier about how folks get all irked and mad over names. They're like, "Oh well, I'm telling you right now, my name is Serena. Usagi is my middle name, but it's my nickname. It's not my first name, and I'll meet you halfway because it's my middle name. But if you want to get all weird about it, then then the Smiley books, which came out in between 99 YL, and he's in the Random House books around the same time, came out. They were calling me Bunny. And the first English offshoot of my drawing books that came out, I was called Bunny. So in the Smiley books that came out in between 99 YL, which offshooted from the Deke work, my nickname was called Bunny. So yeah, Usagi would be my nickname because it's the Dawnlandish borrowed word for the English word hare or bunny. But it's not my given name. So I'll meet you halfway. Well, thank you for saying my live stream is good. Well, yes, like I said earlier, Sailor Moon did get fostered from Overteam. Nako Takaguchi, I don't know if she is still, but at one time, Nako Takaguchi was a big follower of the show. And she did like watching it. I don't know if she still watches it now, but back in the day she did. And that's what got her into doing the Sailor Moon. But at first she offsuited as the Sailor V books until Toei felt that she should do another books and offshoot other Sailor fighters into it. So then Nako Takaguchi did that, made another saga of books, and put me in it, and then offshoot everybody else into it. So yeah, she was a follower of Overteam, where she got her thought for doing Sailor Moon, the same way Han Siobhan got the thought of doing the Power Rangers and offshooting from Overteam. So yes, at the end of the day, both Nako Takaguchi and Han Siobhan both fostered and offshooted and got the thought of Sailor Moon and the Might Keepers, or whatever you want to call them, from Overteam. It said, any plans for Sailor Moon Tuxedo Math and a TWF wrestling? Well, I really can't wrestle. And the last time I ever did wrestle, I wanted 24/7 winnings once, Sailor Moon said. I did too. Well, except Queen Beryl wrestled, what was his name? Oh, Troy. The Golden Ranger, the Golden Keeper. But that was way in the first TWF film that they made way back in 2012 YL, though. But that's it. It said me and my brother made TWF. Yeah, 28 or 29 years ago. And I did fight Queen Beryl once, but this would have been somewhere in 23rd between YL and the TWF, though. That's about it. So I want to know, you're probably still into my show too, besides the Mic Keepers. So anyway, I'm going to tell you some folks right now, websites that you can go to if you want to see Power Rangers and you want to see Sailor Moon. It's called Watch Cartoons Online. You'll see all the Power Rangers, both Siobhan, Disney, Siobhan, Hasbro, and you'll see all the Sailor Moon stuff, the Deep Cloverway, Pioneer, whatever, Pathseeker, whatever, Viz. If you just want to see the Viz stuff, then all you got to do is go to Hulu and Tubi. Only Tubi only got one following, and Hulu's got all of them, at least the Viz work. So there it is what it is. It said, then you said about that, and it said that saved. It said, I think that Joey Mari blanched it out from that and live kept Naoko Takiguchi from Sailor Moon and Sailor V. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I have met her, Sailor Moon says. Me, I have, Serena said. We helped her many times. She still does not believe that the folks she fought up one day in between 92 YL were living beings. You know. Sailor Moon Tuxedo Mask. Well, thank you. So, getting back to this whole thing, we're all over to Stead today. So, still on our list to get Sailor Fighter dolls or whatever. It's still Sailor Saturn, Diamond, and Emerald. It's ongoing. It is what it is. And I know you think it would be smooth, but it's not like we got the gout on us. And it's not like we have this, this whole thing about we don't have a reckoning. We can't really go on we can go on eBay, but it's going to be worth a lot. And all the Sailor Saturns are always worth a lot. But I'm sure one day we're going to get her. And then after that, all the inners would have been taken care of. We don't really care which offshoot it was. It could be the Bandai or the Irwin. And let's be earnest about this, Sailor Moon says. A lot of folks out there seem to think that it goes. Thank you, Naoko Taguchi. Yeah, Naoko Taguchi was the one who brought. Yeah, she was the first show player, the first one who spoke Usagi. Yes. Hi, Omen boy. Did you get pizza or smooth cake? Yes, we did. But it was the Chef Boyardee one or Cook Chef. It was this Cook Boyardee one, which is good. Hi, Scott. It's Omen boy. Yeah. So Sailor Saturn is still one of the hardest ones to get. And there's a lot of them on eBay, and one day we'll probably get it. And then, Emerald and Diamond, they're like behind that too. But it's a long, long thing. But one day we'll get them. We don't know when, we don't know how, but we will get them one day. And I know there's going to be someone out there that's going to start saying, oh, now you're going to do interweb asking or some bullshit like that. It said, I'm not know about this, but I know it's greater on. I know that it's it has been taken instead on Serena's birthday. Well, we used to get Pizza Hut back in the day, but then it started to feel bad. Like it didn't have the same feeling it once had. So nowadays we mostly get either Pizza Berg or Mama Pia's. We used to get Papa John's back in the day, but we never had get Domino's. Never had them. Yeah, they're too far out. Now we're talking about smooth cake now. I still like to eat. Yeah, we all know Serena Sailor Moon still likes to eat. We know that. I can still recall when whatever her name was, I don't know, the one that someone told me, oh, so what are you learning in? And I said some folks think sleeping, and I say eating. Yes, your birthday is on my birthday too. June 30th. but they don't really say the year. So you got to put some kind, so you have to have a year when one was born. I like to stead all my Deke stuff starting in 9 between 95 YL until 9 between 96 YL, stretching into 9 between 97 and 9 between 98 YL. My Cloverway stuff stretching from 9 between from 20 until at least in 2001 YL. And then you just take 4 between and 9 between 95, and you'll get how when year I was born. You know? Well, the truth is, how about this? I don't know what to say. Oh, I can handle this one. I like McDonald's and Burger King. I like Wendy's too. I like Arby's too. I also like Dairy Queen. Yeah, Serena likes all of those. I know some folks like to get on, they'll talk about Twitter. They'll say, oh, you're breaking self. You're breaking self. No, because Serena and I go to those steads, so we got to put them down on the list. It said, it said, we watched WWE. Been watching that since how long ago? We've been watching that for? Well, I've been watching it for a long time. I'm going to say 9 between 92 YL, though. So I've been watching W for a long time. Yeah, I know. We're not a rounded ifin skilled wrestling follower like some folks are out there. Like, oh, Yeah, I like KFC too. I like Long John Silver's. Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Well, I just want to say thank you for all coming on my YouTube live stream. I'm not ending it yet, but I'm just thanking all for coming in. So, there's one time folks like talk about shame things that happen. So, if you ever watch Ernest Goes to Chill, Ernest Goes to Lockup, and he got shocked before he went out. So everything's getting stuck to him. The fork, the knife went, the pudding went on his lap, in his middle, and then stuff. Well, that wasn't to me, because I drank this stuff. And they said, oh, you drank too much of whatever it was, hiding that I drank something else. And I'm going around saying, oh, I know how to speak French now. I don't. And I'm going saying all kinds of stuff. And everybody's laughing it all off. They're like, oh, Serena, you drank too much of the whatever it was. Well, I thought it was pop or whatever. Apparently in the Vid's work or Toey work, I drank Earl or beer and didn't know about it. And he'd say, oh, yeah, you got to bring up where you can't take them out, because that happened once. See, Luna one time was teaching Serena and Ernest how to be more iffined. And they were out with me and Drakina. And that happened. Ernest got shocked, and the stuff got stuck to him. Serena started having a drink, hang out with all that stuff. Yeah. Did that happen? Yeah. Some folks say that the way Serena eats, the way Sailor Moon eats, she would get her sickness. Now, that's not a nice, cool, good thing to say. Well, it's true. In true life, if you were eating like that, like Homer Simpson does or like Cuckoo does, you would get her sickness. Yeah, but I never did. I think that's something folks never said about me. They never scared me and said, Serena, you eat too much. Serena, you eat way too much wheat. Serena, you're going to get yourself her sickness one day. Well, they never said that about me. They never scaped me. They never scaped Homer Simpson for his overeating or Goku for his overeating. And they say, who eats more? Is it Homer or is it Goku or me? I don't know. I don't know either. But it is true, Serena. If you did overeat too much and you eat too much stuff, you can get sweetheart sickness. It can happen. Folks do get sweetheart sickness. There are two kinds. There is kind one, kind two, and then, well, that's about as far as the kinds. Dwayne has sweetheart sickness. He's had it since 27 between YL. Yeah, but he didn't do anything to bring it on. You know, he had, the truth is his grandmother had it and his aunt had it. So that's how he was going to end up getting it. It said, yeah, and also Scott got it too. Yeah, I know Weenie does overeat a lot on honey, and I know honey's got. I think if you think of it, if he was like that in true life, then he'd probably be someone, and someone would say you're gonna get fleet or sickness too. So yeah, they never escaped Serena or Homer or Goku or Winnie for that, because they're live drawings. They're not true, folks. But you would think that they would bring it up, but they don't. Yeah, and Scott also has it too. And I know it's a kind of thing that some folks don't like to talk about. Their health hang up. Some folks are, it kind of irks them. So sorry for bringing it up. Dwayne might be all right with folks talking about it, but sometimes Scott is not. So I want to say I'm sorry about bringing it up. But someone talked about how they had to drink the clean uh, drink on the live stream. Yeah, they always say that. They always bring that up all the time. They're like, "Oh, you ever ate the other donuts all the time? You got the sweet worms all the time. You got these muffins all the time and stuff." Yep, we know that. Oh, do you know a long time ago? Because every time we go to either Walmart or Giant Eagle or Aldi's or wherever we go to shop and save, um, when we do go there, does anyone ever recall the Sailor Moon R when Serena and myself and Rini we had to go get stuff for curry and the dark moon was there and they besmirched everything and the meat was bad and Serena's like, I don't understand that. They got a good name for this. They have a good name. I said, well, forget their name. We're not going to be buying anything from here. Yeah, thank God no one going to get me for that. Well, thank God no one going to get me for that, though. So who do you think eats more? Homer, me, or Goku? I think I probably eat as much as they do. Yeah. But then we're not going to talk about who we think is who would be more of a ditz. Yeah, who would that be? Would it be me? Would it be Mina? Or would it be Ernest? Yeah, we don't want to go down there. You know, we don't really truly want to go down there. So, for all you folks, and I recall this one, and this was mostly from something that should have been put into one of the Sailor Moon books we were working on back in the day, but didn't. And it's offshooted from the Power Rangers or Might Keepers a bit. It goes like, that's our teacher, Haruna. Miss Haruna, she can't teach. Working out is what's needed to me. I pick up all this clutter myself. I think I should be kept. Which is offshooted from Franco's Barnquire's That's Myth Our Teacher Miss Appleby. She can't teach. Working out's what's needed to me. I picked up all this clutter myself. I think I should be kept. Because it got badly shifted and all the things were cut out. Yeah, I do know that, Sailor Moon. It started out like Bulk's the world's greatest guy, take one. That's our teacher, Miss Appleby. She cannot wait for me to sit down and take the class. Go this way, go that way, and falls off the seat. Then they're working out in the youth middle and stuff. And so then he goes, well, who's going to, I want to work out. Well, then who's going to hold the shooter then, you dummy? Then after that, they picked all the stuff up because they were the cleaning team. And he says, I pick up all this clutter myself, and he falls down on the bags. Then they go in there and he falls over, trips over somebody, knocks all the stuff over, and says, I think folks like you should be kept. Well, when Eugene Skolovich did all the skimming work on it, it came back making him look bad. Yeah. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, I heard of that. Oh, I still like to play film games all the time. Yeah, she's into the, the Kingdom of Heart games and stuff. The one where they're always off shooting Disney cells and stuff like that. And a WWE game that came out, the one supposed to be the greatest of all WWE games out there. So Sailor Moon still plays, games. It goes to the game middle, which is in Crossroads, which is in the Deep World, which would be the game middle Hidcap and the Cloverway Biz Toei World. And she does let her play all those games. And she got so many games on the over Nintendo or whatever, and Sega beginning. Folks want to know if that Sailor Moon arcade game ever came out. It did. It came out for the Sony PlayStation, I think the first one. But that's about it. The other games that ever came out. And now feeling anything. Yeah. The first one, the one that was, round and it was like silver, or was it white? Yeah. And that's the only one ever came out. That and the Sailor Venus game. That was about it. So I just played the games though. And everyone also wants to know, when are we going to become king and queen of New Heaven? I don't know. Don't know. That's up to God and Jesus. We don't know when that's going to happen. Yeah, that's right, Tuxedo Mask. We don't know when that's going to happen. Only God and Jesus know. And they've been working on that for years. So your guess is as good as mine when they're going to do it. And everyone offshoots it, and no one really knows when. But I guess one day I'm going to be young Queen Serenity of New Heaven. And he'll be King Endymion of New Heaven, lording in the earth on the behalf of God and Jesus. Whenever that's going to be, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So I do want to say before I end this film, yeah, you're into the Power Rangers and My Keepers. That's cool. And I hope you're still into my show too. Probably are into both of my shows, yeah. Hey. So, yeah, that's about it. It said, you misspelled Luna, but you're asking, did I feed Luna? Yes, I fed Luna. If that's what you're asking me, I did feed her. So now, that's it. Gotta go now. I'll see you all later. I want to say thank you to everyone that came on my YouTube live stream. And yes, we are still yielding to get Sailor Saturn, and still yielding on Emerald and Diamond too. So thank you for all coming on our YouTube live stream. I'm Serena, Sailor Moon, Darien, Tuxedo Mask. We'll see you later. Bye.